just starting at the 30,000 foot level as we are here at 30,000 some odd feet. You all have been saying for weeks now in the lead up to this trip that the president can be the president wherever he is. So could you speak to the president's decision making, why he felt he had to be in Washington and cut this trip short, giving the PRC the display of American inconsistency and lack of commitment in the region that it has been looking for, and in effect undercutting the very trip the president set out to plan when this trip was announced a few weeks ago?
So first of all, I would just point out that this G7 comes after one of the most effective and impactful strings of American diplomacy in the Indo-Pacific in an incredibly long time. In January, you had Prime Minister Kishida in Washington announcing absolutely historic investments in Japan's defense capabilities. In February and March, you had the announcement of enhanced defense cooperation agreement sites in the Philippines. You had the announcement of an initiative on critical and emerging technologies with India. In April, you had a state visit from Korea that led to a historic Washington declaration. You had AUKUS and the president with the prime minister of both the UK and Australia in San Diego announcing a first in 60 years defense partnership on nuclear submarines. So when you look at all of those pieces coming together, we feel extremely good about where America's position is in the Indo-Pacific. And the fact that he has to postpone a trip to Australia and to Papua New Guinea, when you lay that up against where we are with respect to our alliances and partnerships in the Indo-Pacific, we believe this notion that somehow the PRC is sitting there happy and comfortable about the situation is a convenient media narrative going into this trip, but it does not reflect reality in any way. I would also say that the president felt it was critical that he be at the G7 because this particular format is so central to getting alignment and convergence with key countries, including, by the way, the countries in the Quad, because both Australia and India will be in Hiroshima, and he will have the opportunity to engage with them there. That was a vital part of the trip, but that the work that we need to do bilaterally with Australia through the Quad and with the Pacific Islands is work that can be done at a later date, whereas the final stretch of negotiations over the debt limit or over the budget cannot be done at a later date. And that default can't be postponed, but the trip can be postponed. So that's where the president ultimately made his decision that he would do the first half of the trip and then postpone the second half of the trip to a later date.